right, so I wanted to make this video. Um, my voice might sound like shit because I am sick right now. But I found this guy, and he's come to quite popularity in the last week or so. And something doesn't make sense about this. Um, I don't know if you guys saw this years ago. There was a girl that YouTube all of a sudden made into like 1 million followers for that van life thing in like less than a couple of days. And it was like maybe they were trying to popularize that and make it more something that younger people would go and do. And then we ended up having that whole craze of van life and the Gabby, what's her name chick. So here we now have in the midst of the the escalation in a couple of conflicts, and a certain group of people is getting a lot of attention, and whenever they do get attention, it seems that other things start happening that kind of divide people and make you go, hey, is that a squirrel? So I found this guy, and I don't have a problem with what he's saying. In fact, he says all the right things. And it's very interesting, though, because I've gotten punished quite a bit for saying very similar things. And in the last week or so, he's gone from about, no followers to now it looks like he's at 7.42 subscribers. Now, in his videos, he's acknowledged that it's odd himself to be getting all these videos or these subscribers. But what he does is he talks about, fatigue, certain ideologies, and I can't even really specify what he talks about. So it's very odd when I show you his channel and how it's gotten kind of popular. I will give him credit for walking through the woods wearing sunglasses and talking about this kind of stuff. Seems like a pretty cool way to do your videos. So this guy is called the Shameless Spurg, and he's at 7.42K subscribers. Now look at his videos. You think that under any normal terms that YouTube would just allow you to start talking about this stuff? Look at his titles. Talking about that's a bit of a spicy one. If I barely even say things like this, I get views taken off of my videos. I get subscribers removed. Look at this. White people take a stand. No one is going to do it for us. You think that that's it? That was before 17 subs. And then all of a sudden, in just a matter of days, he gets a lot of views. Now, I went and commented in one of his videos. I said, I don't think that you're a Fed. In fact, I just find it very odd that YouTube would all of a sudden allow you to be so viewed and have this kind of going out there. And what that tells me, when I said maybe, what's it been since the October 7th thing? Has that been a year and a half now? I said, they're going to have to play the victim and something bad's going to happen. And so far, most of that's come true because they're really getting hit hard. and they're losing control of the narrative. And when I see something like this, it makes me worried because they're trying to get you to be more divided. That's what happened with Occupy Wall Street. During Occupy Wall Street, all of a sudden, that narrative of going after the bankers started to fade away once search results started popping up more and more. You could see the Google Analytics searching for a bunch of racial division. And I'm not saying that there's not a problem. In fact, I think instead of ignoring the problem between the racial divides right now and wanting you to ignore what's going on in the conflicts over there, I think we should be concerned about that and ignoring this conflict over there. It's not our problem. It's not our war. We shouldn't be over there. We have problems at home. But the mere fact that they're allowing you to start having these conversations should be a warning to let you know that something bad is about to happen, especially with that recent event. And everybody's calling it a supposed false flag. That's not good news to me. So we can watch some of his stuff. You guys tell me. The other thing that I found out, I didn't see it because I haven't watched enough of his things. I kind of just put it on the phone when I was going to sleep. And he supposedly has a tattoo in Hebrew writing, which nobody's gotten him to address yet. It's a little odd. So I'll let you be the judge of this. Let's go ahead and look at, let's see.
Good morning, folks. This is a Shameless Berg, and I hope you're all doing well today. I just want to go over this story real quick about yet another one of our people killed by a black person as per the norm. And it's a daily occurrence, even though you never see it on the news. And you're likely not going to see this one on the news either. So the 17-year-old girl, now, first of all, let me say this, okay? Some of you are going to see this and you're going to think to yourself, well, burn the coal, pay the toll.
The one thing also, in one of his other videos, he was wearing a hat with the black sun. And that's going out there a little far. Maybe it takes a while to order one of those, so you must have had it for a while. But going out there and wearing that, you either got some real strong fatigue or you're not worried about the consequences. So, seems kind of looking at his house, and from what I've seen, looking in the reflection of his sunglasses, it looks like he lives in a pretty rural area with quite a bit of land.
Anyway, so she was a 17-year-old girl, Candace Prince. Cute little ginger, killed by her 18-year-old tarantula hair having boyfriend, 18-year-old Julian. So her father here, John Prince, just last year on April 15th, he said in a tweet, if someone somehow sees you're black and automatically assumes you're a murderer, they're not with me. They're not Republicans. They're not MAGA. I have amazing friends that are black. None of them condone behavior like this. No one thinks they're murderers. None of them give a damn about reparations. It's this app that brings out the best or worst in people. Did you hear that, guys? It's the app that's the problem. All racial problems just started with this app. That's where it all came from. Twitter was just the ground zero of problems between whites and blacks. Don't you know? So he continues. on behalf of us normal white people. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad to be spoken for. I love when they jump to this left wing thing where they just like, well, I'm gonna hop over here and I'm gonna make a collective reference where I'm talking in your stead. I'm talking in your place to make my point, and I'm gonna speak for you as some sort of collective. So he says, on behalf of us normal white people, I'm sorry anyone made you feel like a murderer, unless of course you are one. LOL.
Now, this is a popular story that's going on Twitter right now. And I was speaking to my buddy that I'm collaborating with in the future to give you quite a lengthy expose of his knowledge on the kosher way of life. I'll put it that way. And he was telling me that our timelines or our feeds look exactly the same. What was interesting is we've both been on Twitter just very similarly at the same time started. And also, basically instantly, it was a lot of racial stuff. Now, I wasn't on Twitter before. I kind of stay away from social media. I don't have any social media. I just started going on there because it seems like it's the only place that's showing actual videos of things. I think originally I went on there just to see, I think it was videos of what was going on actually happening in the Gaza situation. And then quickly I can tell that there's quite a bit of stuff on there that really is geared to get you angry. And it does work. I mean, there's plenty of stuff on there that gets me fuming. I won't say it hasn't had an effect on me, but I've also noticed that there's a lot of old clips being played of older incidents that I knew about. Now, I used to, when 4chan was around, I used to go on Poll, and that's where I would find a lot of these video clips. I try not to stay on there too long because if I start going on there too much, it starts to really wear on your brain. And same thing with this Twitter. I can notice little patterns and see that they're really pushing certain things. And I've noticed recently, speaking to some law enforcement, things are getting worse. I've been noticing it in where I live. Quite a few people are acting out. I've had situations in my life that have escalated quite quickly, and it's very concerning. So when this guy is allowed to go and speak freely, it's very odd. It should concern you.
Okay. So now let's skip ahead. Just a few days ago, this is Julian. So he posted a picture of her daughter with this tarantula hair having shark eyed loser, Julian. He says, "This is Julian. She trusted him."
Now notice his language. When I start to go and say a little racially provocative things, I try to keep it a little bit more under wraps than that, and I'll not quite go with the blatant ad hominems, just kind of mask it a little bit. But this guy feels pretty free doing it.
Loved him, and last night he stabbed her multiple times and took her life. Please help spread awareness of the situation. She did not deserve this. No one does. I mean, I agree. No one deserves that. So, but that part where you said, please help spread awareness of the situation. We've been trying to, my guy. We've been trying to, okay? But civnats like you, people that are still drunk on 90s racial Kool-Aid, are still saying nonsense like this, you know, and you disavow the people that are trying to spread awareness. What you want us to just hyper individualize, hyper fixate on this one thing that happened with your daughter. But unfortunately, um it's not rare, okay? It's not uncommon. It's not unique. It's practically unremarkable by now. Especially by news and international news, who definitely will not be remarking upon it. So we're not gonna just spread awareness for individual cases and act like there's no connection and act like there's no patterns to observe. I'm not gonna act like you making some post about how I have all these great black friends, and I'm sorry if anybody made you feel feels or whatever. I'm not gonna do any of that shit. This app that brings out the best or worst in people. It's just a joke. I mean, how high on your own supply do you have to be to actually think that it's just this app that brings out the best or worst in people? Like all the racial problems in this country and in this world have all just sprung into existence since the advent of social media. Now, I'll admit to you, it's been kind of like dousing it in gasoline and lighting it on fire a bit for sure. But the fact is, it was always going to get to this point. It's inevitable in any society that's like forced to live together that these sorts of tensions will emerge. And we have certainly seen that here in this country. There's been ebbs and flows of racial issues. It sort of has checkered our entire history as a country, going back hundreds of years, before anyone had a concept of Twitter, let alone the internet or computers or even fucking electricity, okay? And here we are with you coping, talking about how it's this app that brings out the best or worst in people. And now you have a dead daughter. Candace Prince, taken out by this tarantula hair having loser. And it's just a shame. I don't know if he's had anything to say since then. I wonder if he's come out and forgiven him already. I'm not gonna say that's happened. I'm not really sure. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if he still fails to put it together. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out with like, "Please don't be making this about race. That's not MAGA." Okay. Well, you know what would have been MAGA if this dude was never around to begin with. All right, it would have been MAGA if he was somewhere else, away, far, far away from you and your daughter. That would have been MAGA. But that is not what we got.
Now, far be it from me to disagree with anything that he's said so far, but imagine saying that and then all of a sudden getting your channel blown up. YouTube removed me simply yesterday for watching on my live stream some guys that were doing like LARP, where they prep and do a bunch of basically combat training, med training, all sorts of fun stuff. And it took it down because I had a firearm displayed on live stream because of the video. So you can imagine when I've made videos jokingly about a certain event in New Zealand and the amount of censorship I had to do to that video to make it almost unrecognizable, and to get it to not be picked up by the censors is pretty astounding. You try uploading something like that, and it will immediately block it. So something's going on. I'm not sure what's going on with this guy. I'm not sure what they're planning, but I can tell you from my experience of watching these little psyops and games that they play, and once you start noticing the patterns, you start becoming less, you sound less paranoid when it starts coming true. And the more and more we find out about Jordan Peterson that's been happening lately, find out things like what's going on with Kanye, how he had that handler that basically escalated him into drug use. Pardon me. You find out what Michael Jackson's opinion was on the kosher people, and the fact that he had Rabbi Shmuley in his inner circle, and that guy has been uh, just everywhere. Same thing. Like it's like they need you to hate them, and there's something big going on. You know, um, my advice is to keep your nose out of the shit and try not to get involved with this stuff. You know, it might be fun to go and have a brotherhood, but really think about, at least from my experience, how quickly these people can turn on you, how people lie, how people can pretend they're your friends. And you've got to, it sounds awful that you have to be paranoid about this stuff, but I'm telling you, you don't want to go and get yourself caught up in some, Whitmer case, or some J6 shit, just because some guy got you riled up. Now, you should be making friends, hopefully, but keep your inner circle real tight. Your family is what matters. It's very scary knowing that once you start learning about the operations that this government does, what the lengths are that they'll do. And I'll watch a little bit more of this, because I got to tune into Danny's show. And yeah.
What do we have here? We have a dead 17-year-old girl stabbed to death by this impulsive savage. Tarantula-headed shark eye having a loser. Okay, that's what we have. So, it's not shocking. I want it to be shocking, but it's not. But, since national and international media is not going to cover these types of stories, they're not going to emphasize them at all, if they even mention them, their stories deserve to be told. I don't know much about them. I don't know anything really about Candace or John or Julian. I know everything I need to know about Julian, okay? You can just sub him out for other ones that are just like him. There's no depth anyway. There's not enough intelligence to have cultivated a unique personality in any meaningful sense. So you can really just substitute them. It doesn't matter who Julian is. He's also Tyrone and Demetrius and the rest of them. And if you've known one, you've known, unfortunately, far too many. Okay. So, here we are. And I just wanted to cover this story. It's sad. It's not going to get talked about much. And we've lost yet another one to them, to Black people. And what is now increasingly a very common occurrence. And so, again, like I said, some of you may be thinking, Brendan Cole, pay the toll.
So there you go. It's very odd what's going on with this guy. Now I'm just poking fun, and so I'm wearing the same sunglasses I have, so I thought it might be funny to put that on. But you're saying all the right things, and I don't know. Keep your head on the swivel, man.